first. We'll get it out of the way.
Okay. Does he need the harmonium? That makes it easy.
Yes. I will recite a Purushukta from Sukla Yajurveda. Hari Om 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 Bhurvuvah Swaha Har Om Ano Badraha Kratavo Janto Vishavato Dabdaso Aparita Sa Udabhidaha Devano Jatha Sadamidvrade Asannaprayuvo Rakshitaro Dive Dive Devanam Madara Sumatirya Juyetan Devanagura Tiravino Nivartatam Devanago Sakyamupase Dibhavayam Devana Ayuho Pratirantu Jivase Tan Purvayan Nividahu Mahe Vayam Bhagam Mitramaditendakshramidam Aryamanam Varunagu Shomamashvina Saraswati Nahasuvagayamayakarata Tanno Vato Mayo Bhuvatu Vekajan Tanmata Prathavitati Pitadyoho Tadagravana Somasuto Mayo Bhuvatadusena Saranatan Dishna Juvam Tamishanan Jagatatukpati Dhyan Jinmavamase Humahe Vayamba Pukhano Yata Sidvarde Prayurabda Swastai Om Swastira Indro Vrittasravaha Swastira Pukha Vishwavedaha Swastira Tarakshor Arishtare Swastiro Brahaspati Dadatu Hari Om Sahasra Shiraka Purukha Sahasraksha Sahasrapata Sabhumiggo Sarvata Sprutva Tetit Dashangulam Purukha Evedago Sarvam Jad Bhutam Jascha Bhavyam Utamritatva Seshano Jalannena Tirohati Etavanasha Mahimato Jayausha Purukha Padosha Vishva Bhutani Tripadasha Bratandivi Tripadurda Udit Purukha Padosheha Bhavat Punaha Tato Vikvam Vikramatsa Shanana Abhi Tato Virada Jayata Virajo Adipurukha Sajato Aterichata Pachyat Bhumimato Puraha Tasma Jagna Sarvahutah Sambratam Prakhadajam Pashustam Chakrevaya Vya Naranya Gramya Jaje Tasma Jagna Sarvahuta Rachaha Samanidire Chanda Kosijadire Tasmad Yajutasvajayata Tasmad Asvajayanta Jeke Chobhayajata Gavoha Jadire Tasmad Tasvajata Javaya Tanjagnam Varaiga Prokshan Purkhan Jata Bhagrata Tena Deva Ayajalta Sadhya Rakhayaje Jat Purkham Vedaduhu Kati Dhavya Kalpayanna Mukhanke Masyasir Kim Bahu Ki Moru Pada Uchete Brahmanosha Mukhamasit Bahu Rajanya Kruta Uruta Dasha Jadvesha Patibhagu Shudro Ajayata श्रोत्राद् वायु च प्राणमुखा दधिर्जायत नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिषको शिरष्टौ द्यौः समवर्तत पतिभ्यां भूमिदिशः श्रोत्रा तथा लोकाम् अकल्पयन् जत्पुरुषेण हविका देव जग्लपतन्वत वसन्तोषासीदाजग्रे विद्वसरद्दविः सप्तास्यासन् परितः श्रीसप्तसविधः कृताः देवाज्झतग्रन्दन्वाना अभग्नन् पुरुखं पशुम् जग्नेन जग्नभयदन्तदेव तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् तेहनाकं महिमानः सचन्द्रत पूर्वे साध्याः सन्ति देवाः। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
We'll do two songs, and this one is everybody can join in. Should be easy. Chandrasekharaya Namah Chandrasekharaya Namah Gangadharaya Namah Gangadharaya Namah Chandrasekharaya Namah Gangadharaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Namah Hara Hara Haraya Namah Hara Hara Haraya Namah Shiva Shiva Shivaya Namah Shiva Shiva Shivaya Namah Mrityunjayaya Namah Mrityunjayaya Namah Padmalochanaya Namah Padmalochanaya Namah Parameshwaraya Namah Parameshwaraya Namah Panchananaya Namah Panchananaya Namah Bhakta Priyaya Namah Bhakta Priyaya Namah Shiva Shiva Mrityunjayaya Namaha Chandrasekharaya Namaha Chandrasekharaya Namaha Gangadharaya Namaha Gangadharaya Namaha Chandrasekharaya Namaha Gangadharaya Namaha Gangadharaya Namaha Om Namah Shivaya Namaha Om Namah Shivaya Namaha Hara Hara Haraya Namaha Namaha. শঙ্করী চরণে মন মগ্ন হয়ে রাও রে শঙ্করী চরণে মন মগ্ন হয়ে রাও রে শঙ্করী চরণে মন মগ্ন হয়ে রাও রে মগ্ন হয়ে রাও তুমি মগ্ন হয়ে রাও রে সব যন্ত্রণা এড়াও রে শঙ্করী চরণে মন মগ্ন হয়ে রাও রে শঙ্করী চরণে মগ্ন হয়ে রাও রে তুমি মগ্ন হয়ে রাও রে সব যন্ত্রণা এড়াও রে এ তিন সংসার মিছে মিছে ভ্রমিয়ে ভেড়াও রে এ তিন সংসার মিছে মিছে ভ্রমিয়ে বেড়াও রে এ তিন সংসার মিছে মিছে ভ্রমিয়ে সংসার মিছে মিছে ভ্রমিয়ে বেড়াও রে কুল কুণ্ডলিনী ব্রহ্মময়ী কুল কুণ্ডলিনী ব্রহ্মময়ী অন্তরে কুণ্ডলিনী ব্রহ্মময়ী Kundalini Brahmamoyi Antare Dhiya Ore Shankari Charane Mono Mogno Hoye Raore Komola Kante Ruvani Shyama Mayer Guna Gaure Komola Kante Ruvani Shyama Mayer Guna Gaure Komola Kante Ruvani Shyama Mayer Gun Gaure Komala Kante Rubani Shyama Mayer Gun Gaure Eto Shukhar Nodi Nirabodhi Eto Shukhar Nodi Nirabodhi Dhire Dhire Baore Shankari Charane Mono Mogno Hoye Raore Shankari Charane Mono Mogno Hoye Raore Shankari Charane Mono Mogno Hoye Raore Mogno Hoye Raore Mogno Hoye Raore
I think it's the Bluetooth. Bluetooth sometimes it fails. Let's see.
Yesterday was this.
Yeah, yesterday was this. Today, okay, I'll keep
So
the
you
same.
want a different one?
I'll keep the same one. No problem.
So fast.
This is a song in Kannada on Krishna, written by a great saint, Purandara Vithala. He says in this song, why don't you say the name of Krishna? If you repeat the name of Krishna, all your miseries, worldly miseries, will be solved. You have attained human birth. Why don't you say Krishna? When you get up and stretch yourself, Why don't you say Krishna? When you are going around in your house doing your various work, why don't you say Krishna? And when you are gossiping without control over what you are talking, why don't you say Krishna? When you are going to the bazaar, why don't you say Krishna? When you are sick, when you are not feeling well, call on Krishna. Amidst all your work, think that this is also a work and say Krishna. To remove all your miseries, problems, call on Krishna. ಕೃಷ್ಣನ ನೆನೆದರೆ ಕಷ್ಟವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ನರ ಜನ್ಮ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ಮಲಗೆದ್ದು ಮೈ ಮುರಿದು ಏಳುತ್ತಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ಸುಳಿದಾಡುತ್ತ ಮನೆಯೊಳಗಾದರೂ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ಮೇರೆ ತಪ್ಪಿ ಮಾತನಾಡುವಾಗಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ದಾರಿಯ ನಡೆವಾಗ ಭಾರವ ಹೊರುವಾಗ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ನೀಗದಾಲೋಚನೆ ರೋಗೋಪದ್ರದಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ಪರಿ ಪರಿ ಕೆಲಸದೊಳೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸವೆಂದು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ದುರಿತ ರಾಶಿಗಳನ್ನು ತರಿದು ಬಿಸಾಡಲು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ಗರುಡ ವಾಹನ ಸಿರಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ್ನೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ಮುದ್ದು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನಬಾರದೆ. I added Ramakrishna. Why don't you say Ramakrishna? So this is another song. This is a song which I learned from our devotees in our Durban center. It's a beautiful song in Hindi on Sri Ramakrishna. Paramadayal Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramakripal Ma Paramakripal, Shri Ma Sharada Paramakripal, Karuna Sagar Yuga Avatar, Par Karo Naya Bhav Par. I think you can repeat after. परम दयाल प्रभु परम दयाल Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramadayal, Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramadayal, Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramakripal, Ma Paramakripal, Shri Ma Sharada Paramakripal, Paramakripal, Ma Paramakripal, Shri Ma Sharada Paramakripal, Paramadayal, Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramadayal, Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna 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 Prabhu Paramadayal, Karuna Sagar Yuga Avatar, Karuna Sagar Yuga Avatar, Par Karo Naiya Bhav Par, Karuna Sagar Yuga Avatar, Par Karo Naiya Bhav Par, Param Kripal Prabhu Param Kripal, Param Dayal Prabhu Param Dayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Param Dayal, Paramadayal, Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Paramadayal, Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal, Ramakrishna Prabhu Paramadayal. This is a song in Bengali on Holy Mother, written by Swami Chandikananda ji. Difficult to sing after having a heavy meal. Sri Ramakrishna Prem Shurodhoni Koruna Rupini Mayamar, Sri Ramakrishna Prem Shurodhoni Koruna Rupini Mayamar, Ashile Dhorai Dhorino Rokai, Ashile Dhorai Dhorino Rokai, Jodate Tapito Hiya Shobar, Sri Ramakrishna Prem Shrodhoni Koruna Rupini Mayamar. নিত্য শুদ্ধ চিন্ময়কায় শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ অরুণিমাতায়, নিত্য শুদ্ধ চিন্ময়কায় শ্রী রামকৃষ্ণ অরুণিমাতায়, অরূপ থলে অরূপ আভায় পরাণ মাতায় জগজনার শ্রীরামকৃষ্ণ প্রেম সুরধ্বনি। নিত্য নন্দিতা নিখিল বন্দিতা, নিত্য নন্দিতা নিখিল বন্দিতা শ্রীরামকৃষ্ণ আরাধিতা, নিত্য নন্দিতা নিখিল বন্দিতা শ্রীরামকৃষ্ণ আরাধিতা। গুণাতীতা তুমি গুণময়ী দেবী, গুণাতীতা তুমি গুণময়ী দেবী, তুমি মাতা পুনঃ তুমি পিতা, গুণাতীতা তুমি গুণময়ী দেবী, তুমি মাতা পুনঃ তুমি পিতা। সাধু সজ্জন জননী তুমি মা, সাধু সজ্জন জননী তুমি মা, অসাধু দুর্জন সুত তোমার, সাধু সজ্জন জননী তুমি মা, অসাধু দুর্জন সুত তোমার। বহে নিরন্তর অন্তহীন ধার, বহে নিরন্তর অন্তহীন ধার, তব অনন্ত করুণাধার শ্রীরামকৃষ্ণ প্রেম সুরধ্বনি করুণারূপিণী মায়া মা। আচ্ছা, প্রশ্ন নেই থাকলে বাস তো সারা রাত গাইতে পারি, আমার প্রচুর জানা আছে। কি হিন্দি না বাংলা না কি ভাষা, কোন ভাষা? পর্তুগিজ। কালি কালি বলো রসনা। Yes, you had told me yesterday. This song, Kali Kali Bolo Roshana, Sri Ramakrishna used to sing. কালি কালি বলো রসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা। কোর পদধ্যান নামামৃত পান, কোর পদধ্যান নামামৃত পান, যদি পেতে প্রাণ থাকে বাসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা। ভাই বন্ধু সুত দ্বারা পরিজন, ভাই বন্ধু সুত দ্বারা পরিজন, সঙ্গের দোসর নাহি কোনো জন, দুরন্ত সমন বাঁধিবে যখন, দুরন্ত সমন বাঁধিবে যখন, বিনে চরণ কেহ কারণা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা। দুর্গা নাম মুখে বলো একবার, দুর্গা নাম মুখে বলো একবার, সঙ্গের সম্বল দুর্গা নাম আমার, অনিত্য সংসার নাহি পারোবার, অনিত্য সংসার নাহি পারোবার, সকলি অসার ভেবে দেখো না, কালি কালি বলো রসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা। গেল গেল কাল বিফলে গেল, গেল গেল কাল বিফলে গেল, দেখো না কালান নিকটে এলো, গেল গেল কাল বিফলে গেল, দেখো না কালান্ত নিকটে এলো, প্রসাদ বলে ভালো কালি কালি বলো, প্রসাদ বলে ভালো কালি কালি বলো, দূর হবে সব যম যন্ত্রণা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা, কালি কালি বলো রসনা। To sing after eating is difficult. So for the
We have reached the very final session that Swamiji will speak a little bit. People were asking about the Rio Center, and then he can do some little conclusion, and there may be some time for other questions and things also. So I will turn everything over to Swamiji.
I think you've finished asking your questions, isn't it? And the answers were given beautifully by Jeff Long and Swami Atmajnananda. Some of the devotees wanted to know about the Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Vedanta movement in Brazil. There are some wonderful incidents that happened in Brazil that led to the development of this Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Vedanta interest in Brazil. You would have heard, which was called Missão Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna, Krishna, they used to call it. So later on the instructions of Belur Math, it was changed to Institution Ramakrishna. Okay, there's a beautiful history to this institution, how this came up. This is in Betim, which is near our Belo Horizonte city in Brazil. The area is called Minas Gerais, which is very rich in gold and other minerals. The Portuguese, when they came or found Brazil, they say they discovered Brazil, but Brazil was already known. There were so many people, indigenous people staying there. They landed in Brazil and occupied the land, and they think they have discovered Brazil. Anyhow, so they found out that this place is rich in gold. And so they started mining. They engaged a British company to mine gold and, of course, looted everything. These people, the indigenous people and African slaves, were employed to do the work in the mines. And the place is beautiful. It is known for its natural beauty. And some of the archaeological remains in that area show that that area was populated by indigenous people for more than 10,000 years. People have lived in that area for more than 10,000 years. So the history of Brazil or South America itself is very ancient. And interestingly, there are two theories about how people came to settle in South America. One theory says people moved out from Africa according to the anthropological studies. The human race moved out from Africa in spurts, 3 or 4 times. They came and then came to Central Asia and then moved to the north through the Bering Strait, came to North America. It was all one mass at that time. There was land connection between the Arctic and the North America. They came to North America and then further moved down. This is one theory which is proved, which is well accepted. There is another theory which is also proved, that there was a migration through the Pacific from the Southeast Asian regions. So they came by country boats or whatever they had in those days through those Pacific waters, and then landed in Peru and the western coast of South America and populated the other parts of South America. So these two theories are there. Anyhow, there were many, many tribes and cultures which flourished in South America. You have heard of the Mayan civilization, the Inca civilization, all these wonderful civilizations were there. So this place, Betim, has this Institution Ramakrishna, which was started in 1959. So there was one person, a journalist by profession. He was a journalist by profession who lived in Belo Horizonte. So he was sitting outside near that pond, and suddenly he had a vision. He found one man in strange clothes. He couldn't recognize the man, a little dark complexioned, but looking very serene and calm. He came there, he appeared in front of him and addressed him. I don't know in which language, probably Portuguese. This, I couldn't get the information. So, and this, in the vision, this Swami, he was a Swami. He could make out that there's some peculiarity. He thought it's something Egyptian or something Middle Eastern dress. So he was wearing robes like a Swami. He didn't know that he is a Swami. And this person told this Arlindo, do something for the poor children. Help them. There are so many poor people around you. Why don't you help them? Do something for the poor. This man thought, why is this strange person coming and asking me to do something for the poor? How am I to understand this? Should I take it seriously or is it some hallucination? He had doubts. He was not able to decide. So he had a spiritual master. So he went to him and asked him, see, something like this happened in my home. Do you think it's true? Do I have to follow the instructions that I received from this man? That person must have been an evolved soul. He said, yes, it's true. That was a saint who came to you. Who? He also did not know. That was a saint who came to you. You must follow these instructions. Do something. It's true. So then he came back, and then after some time he collected a few poor children around his neighborhood and started giving them classes, teaching them. In his own house, there was a small place outside, so he used to teach these children there. A few days this continued, and then again he had the vision. The same person appeared in the vision and said, oh, what you've started is good, but I don't want it to be so small. Do something big. Teach more people. Go and reach out to people. Just having a few children, 2 or 3 near your house and teaching them, no, I'm not satisfied with this. Then this man again went to his master. See, again this person comes and tells me like this. What do I do? Do I believe this? He said, yes, do it. Then he started looking. Well, just an ordinary person, not very rich or something. But somehow he collected some money, friends, and then like-minded people and started searching for a bigger place. And then a little away from the city in this place, Betting, he found a big plot of land and he purchased the plot and started bringing students, poor students, and keeping them. He started a hostel. He used to bring students, encourage students to study, and then started giving them coaching in various aspects, like vocational training and all that. Initially, he started with teaching, keeping them there and giving them education. But then they encountered a very big problem. It was a dry area, and suddenly they did not have water. The water was running short for such a big congregation. So then he had to dig a bore well. He had to get some source for water. So he started looking for a place to dig a bore well. So he engaged the digging company, and then they were thinking of digging the bore well, and the machine was employed. It started. The encounter, again, Brahmanandaji came in a vision to him. This was Swami Brahmananda. And Swami Brahmanandaji came in a vision and told him, you see, dig here. You will get water. Go to this spot. He showed a particular spot in that area that they had purchased. So he accepted that and started digging. The boring was done, but after some time, they encountered a huge block of stone. The machine could not go further. And then again Brahmanandaji comes. And tells him, no, go through down and you'll get a very good source of water. Go through the stone. And they did it, and they found huge source of water. Even now that institution is there. It's grown into a huge institution. And how did he know that it is Swami Brahmananda? That's an interesting thing. He just thought it's some saint from somewhere. It must be. Then fortunately, one friend of his was in Portugal or some European country. He sent him a book, The Life of Sri Ramakrishna, where he found a picture of this Swami Brahmananda. And he immediately identified, oh, this is the person who came to me in my visions. So this is the wonder that happened in Brazil. This is one incident.
And he became Swami Lindananda.
Alvaro, I have not heard that he became. Is that so? Oh, he passed away.
His name Arlinda?
His name was Arlindo. Okay, but I have gone there. I have not seen pictures of him as a Swami. Oh,
This is written up in the Global Vedanta also.
okay. Yeah, Bhaskaranji wrote about this. Anyhow, that's a very, very big institution. Thousands of students get educated there, boys and girls. The hostel is not there now. The hostel went into some problems and they had to close down the hostel. But from all the surrounding villages, children come, get educated, good education. They are given computer training, they are given vocational training, printing, carpentry, robotics, and now they've started even artificial intelligence, handcraft making baskets, making paperwork. They make beautiful art. Yes, yes. Pasta, that they have stopped now. They used to make, it was one of the most popular brands, pasta, Ramakrishna pasta. So it has a huge factory they had. They somehow stopped it for some reason, I don't know. But then they have one more product which is sold all over Brazil, one of the most popular products, wire mesh, which is used for making fences. That's one of the best quality and nobody else is able to compete with them in that. The Ramakrishna, I think wire mesh or something they call it. So that is there. It's a huge factory. I've been there and it's a very nice place. They have a beautiful shrine with Sri Ramakrishna in the center. The standing, that Frank Durant's painting is there in the center. There are Swami Brahmananda, there is Christ, there are some of the other direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother's picture. It's beautiful. Buddha, of course, is there. But the movement, the interest in Vedanta, how did it start? Or Ramakrishna Vivekananda. So in 1909, there was a movement that started in Sao Paulo, Livraria do Círculo Esotérico. It was a Freemason movement. So there was one Antonio Olívio Rodrigues. So he brought together some of his friends and he chose 5 patrons for the development of Brazil, or for giving liberty and other ideas to Brazil as role models. And of them, Swami Vivekananda was one of the patrons. He chose Swami Vivekananda because Swami Vivekananda was already popular due to the Chicago Parliament religions. The popularity in America came down to South America. He was so popular, Swamiji. And inspired by Swamiji and his ideas, he wanted him to be the patron of Brazil, free, independent thinking Brazil. So he chose Swamiji. You can go to they have a big library and a hall in Sao Paulo with the relief pictures of Swamiji and the other people on the walls everywhere. And he used to bring books that were published about Swamiji in America and other places. They have a beautiful, well-equipped library. And he used to conduct lectures, demonstrations, etc. on Saturdays and Sundays. And people used to come to listen to his talks or have reading on various topics. So that was the first interest-generating thing that happened. And then by 1912, Spanish translations of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna as edited by Swami Abhedananji, that was available in Argentina, Buenos Aires, and then that was available in Brazil also after some time, and the Sociedade Vedanta was started in Buenos Aires. Spanish translations of the Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga were started in 1922 in Brazil. And a study of Swamiji's complete works, or these 3 yogas, was started with good interest. And by 1930, there was a society of people who were studying Swamiji, which was started. And in 1932, they decided to approach Belur Math, asking for a Swami for Argentina. So there was one person, who took the initiative, one Mr. Joseph Smith, he wrote to Prabuddha Bharata. He did not have the address of Belur Math or did not know the formalities. He wrote to Prabuddha Bharata, the editor of Prabuddha Bharata, because the journal was famous. So the letter was directed by PB to Belur Math. There he requested for a Swami to come and spread Vedanta, teach them Vedanta in Argentina. And there was a response from Belur Math, he was not satisfied. He was very eager. So a delegation went from Argentina to Belur Math to meet Mahapurush Maharaj. Mahapurush Maharaj was the president, then a direct disciple, and who was living, Swami Shivananji. So they met him and requested him personally. And Mahapurush Maharaj asked Swami Vijayananda, who was one of his sevaks, a disciple of Swami Brahmananji, to go to Argentina. And it is reported, well documented, that Vijayananda Maharaj was very close to Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj. He was liked by Swami Brahmananji also. He was a professional engineer, a chemist. He had an extraordinary talent of identifying the chemicals just by smelling any object. There was some talent which he had, some extraordinary talent. You just give him some liquid or something which has a smell, a scent or something, and he could clearly tell all the ingredients there. What are the chemicals there? There was some inborn talent in him. So then this Swami Vijayananda Maharaj was deputed by Shivananji Maharaj to come to Brazil. This happened in 1930s. And Vijayananda Maharaj was so close to Shivananji, and there were some direct disciples like Subodhananji and others living then in Belur Math. So he did not want to come away from Belur Math and leave the company of these people, these great saints. So he was not happy, and then he was refusing. And then Master Mahasaya, heard that he is not keen on going to Argentina. So when he came to Belur Math, he asked, his name was Pashupati Maharaj, Vijayananji. He asked, hey Pashupati, I hear that you're not so interested, you're not accepting to go to Argentina. What's the matter? So then he said, you see, I don't want to leave the company of these great direct disciples like Shivananji, Subodhananji and all this, and then go to that faraway place. Then him said, that's even worse. You're so selfish. You don't want to accept the wishes of Swamiji. Swamiji wanted this to be done, to spread Vedanta, to spread Ramakrishna, Vivekananda. So, and then you are so selfish that you want to be here and then cling on to this place. No, this is not correct. This is not correct. You're not a soldier of Swamiji. And Swami Vijayanji accepted it and came. So he landed in Argentina in 1932 and started the center. The center came up. He celebrated the birthday of Sri Ramakrishna in 1933. One devotee gave a building and the center was started. And by the time he came to Brazil, it was 1952, almost 30 years after that. He was invited by a group which had developed interest from Rio, and he came to Rio. He used to come almost every year and stay for maybe 1 month or 2 months. They used to hire a building and accommodate him. That building is still there, though we don't have it. It's a building there, very close to our ashram. So he used to stay there and give lectures in Spanish. He had learned the Spanish language very well. So he used to give lectures to the devotees, and then they used to have talks in different important venues in the city. So he used to go and address different people in different areas. So slowly the interest grew. He was a very powerful spiritual person. Definitely Swami Brahmananji must have given him some powers. Swami Brahmananji's disciple itself is enough, but then he had some special powers. So he used to attract people. He was very strict, but at the same time, he was a wonderful inspiration for people. And people used to come, he used to give initiation, slowly a group formed. And then he used to travel to Sao Paulo also and give talks, even in that place. So the group originally started in Rio, in Brazil. And then after some time in 1973, Swami Vijayananda Maharaj passed away. And he was replaced by another Swami, Swami Paratparanandaji. Paratparanandaji, in fact, Vijayananda Maharaj, when he went to Belur Math for the last time, he chose Swami Paratparananda and brought him along with him. So Swami Paratparanandaji came, and in Argentina there was unfortunately a problem. A disciple, a brahmachari disciple of Swami Vijayanandaji in Rio, he did not accept the new Swami and said, "Oh, why? I am here. There's no need for another person. I am the president of this place." And then he was a local man, Portuguese, and without Swami Vijayananda's knowledge, he had made the property and everything in his name. He had transferred everything. I mean, he was owning the entire thing. There was nothing in the name of Swami Vijayananda. So this is an unfortunate incident that happened. And he did not allow the Swami to come to Rio. But 4 devotees, just 4 disciples of Swami Vijayananda said, "No, this is wrong. What you are doing is wrong." Protested against it and stood by Swami Paratparanandaji, took him to their place. There was one lady, disciple of Swami Vijayanandaji. She was unmarried, extremely dedicated to Swami Vijayananda. Cordelia Jesu is her name. So she wanted a center of Vedanta to be started in Rio. She was very keen on that. She had 2 small apartments in a place in Rio, in a very popular place in Rio. She used to stay in one apartment, and the other small apartment, which had 1 room and a small hall-like, was converted into a center. And they used to have Arati and lectures, everything in that small place. Then Paratparanji was followed by Swami Pareshananji, who is now in Buenos Aires. He's there still as the president. And later, in 1999, Swami Atmajnananda, who is now the president of our Sao Paulo Center. So he was deputed to come, and he had to stay in that apartment there with Cordelia, and he was giving lectures, meeting people. One very good thing that Nirmalatmanji did was try to get information about all the disciples of Swami Vijayananda and bring them together. So he contacted everybody, and the group again came back. Of course, the breakaway group that Brahmachari and they diverted, took to so many other things, Tantra and other practices, and it's gone. That building and everything was gone. It was a beautiful place, a little far away from the city, but they had a nice property. Anyhow, that group got separated. In fact, they even had the relics of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Vijayanandaji was given the relics of Sri Ram. We don't know what happened to that. There's no contact, no way of getting it, or we don't know what happened to that. I mean, from what I know, they even had the slippers of Swami Brahmanandaji, which was given to Vijayanandaji. Anyhow, it's gone. So then Nirmalatmanji slowly developed the group, and then he moved to Sao Paulo. There was one devotee in Sao Paulo, a Japanese immigrant who was staying there, was an extraordinary piano player. So he had a beautiful apartment. He gave that apartment. Swami Paratparanji had also gone there. So he gave that apartment for the Vedanta movement. So Nirmalatmanji went there, and the ashrama was started. Slowly it became popular. They purchased some more areas around, extended the house. So it's a well-established center in a nice, prominent locality. So, and then this lady, Cordelia, she wrote a will in which she said her 2 apartments after her passing away can be sold, and a Vedanta center must be started in Rio. So she moved out of her apartment in 2000. She passed away in 2002. She was staying with another disciple of Swami Vijayananda. She allowed the houses to be sold, these 2 small apartments, and they were sold, and from that money, a beautiful house was purchased in Rio, in one of the most popular areas called Santa Teresa. It's a small hillock. If you Google Rio, about the tourist spots in Rio, you will find Santa Teresa coming first. So that's a very popular place, tourist spot, because most of the artisans, artistic people, those who were involved in art and cinema and drama, they stayed in that place. It's a beautiful, picturesque place. So this place where we have the ashrama now in Rio, in Santa Teresa, was purchased in 2000 by these devotees, these 4 devotees who stuck to Vedanta and the Ramakrishna movement. And they purchased it. It was in a very bad condition. They renovated the whole thing, and a beautiful center came up. And it was an unofficial private center, and these people used to come on Saturday, Sunday, and sit and sing and read some books. So this is how the movement came up in Rio, slowly. Even now you have one very old disciple of Swami Vijayananda, Luis Antonio. He is 92 years old now, but very strong. He was a captain, ship captain, who had gone to India quite a few times. He was a very wonderful person, very strong, and then he held the whole thing together. And slowly the group became a little strong. Nirmalatmaji used to come, and then in 2009 it was accepted as a sub-center of our Sao Paulo center by the headquarters. And it became an independent center in 2022 after I was asked to come there. So now we have 3 official centers in Brazil. The center that came up first in Sao Paulo, where Swami Nirmalatmaji is the head. There is another center in Curitiba. That's also a beautiful place. That's considered to be one of the most well-planned cities in the world, Curitiba. Most of the settlers there are Europeans, Germans and others who have come to Brazil and settled there. So it's a mini Europe. So that Curitiba, there is Swami Atmajnananda, who has come there. He came in 2001, almost a year before I came. He was in South Africa, in Durban, as an assistant, and then he was made the head there. He's a wonderful singer, he's highly talented. He's there now as a head. And the other center, the 3rd official center now is Rio. So apart from this, we have one sub-center called Embugausu, which is a big farm in very close to Sao Paulo. It's about 1.5 hours drive from the main city. And that's a beautiful area. It's a hilly area, forested area. We have a nice cottage with a temple and everything. And Swami Ratajananji, Paratparanji, all these, Bhaskaranji, all the great Swamis who have visited have stayed there and blessed that place. So we use it for retreats, devotee retreats, once in a way. Probably every 3 months our Sao Paulo Center organizes retreats there, 1 day or 2 day stay. And then we have 2 more sub-centers now. One is in the capital of Brazil. Rio was the capital of Brazil for a long time. And then 60 years back, they shifted the capital to central Brazil, which is Brasilia. So because Rio is in one corner on the seafront, they wanted more accessibility, so they shifted it to the center. So Brasilia has a nice, beautiful center which has come up, which has just recently, hardly 2 months back, accepted by headquarters as a sub-center of Sao Paulo. So there's a nice interested group which is doing good work there. Young people are also there. And we have one more in Belo Horizonte. So we have 5 big established centers and one center which is a retreat center, Embogoso. So all these centers are doing well. Sao Paulo gets good attendance. People come regularly, but the maximum participation, I'm not being egoistic or not praising, Rio is by far the most active center of all these centers. So every day you have people coming for Arati, at least 4-5 people are there. And Saturday, Sunday, you have a good attendance. Saturday around 25 and Sunday around 35-40 people, all Brazilians, no Indians, not a single Indian. In Sao Paulo we have 2 or 3 Indians coming. Those are working there in software industries and okay. Nothing against. They all speak only Portuguese. Portuguese is the official language. Most of the seniors can't speak English, though they understand English. Not very clearly, but they understand. The younger generation, the teenage and the younger generation, they do love English, they speak English because they need opportunities. So only when they know English they can handle the computers and the software and other things. They want to know English. So the younger generation is more conversant with English. English is becoming more popular. Our devotees also want to learn English. But yes, age is a factor. Luis Antonio's English is good. He is very good in English because he was traveling all over the world. So in Rio on Sundays we have around 35-40 people. And for the talk, I give a talk on Sundays on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So that is a very popular topic. And interestingly, just as in America, you will find many people teaching yoga, different types of yoga, Hatha Yoga, Sahaja Yoga, Kriya Yoga, all types of yoga you will find there, mainly Hatha Yoga. And these people practice yoga, but they don't know much about yoga. They don't know the true import of yoga, or they do it for health benefits or whatever it is, or it could be a fad also. But there is a lot of interest in yoga, in tantras also. So our literature has spread quite a lot, especially the Gospel, Evangelico Ramakrishna as it is called. So that is a popular book quoted by most of the famous people. And Vivekananda Ramakrishna Vedanta is well known, though they may not be following it completely or coming and acknowledging it by coming to the center. When we have events like Sri Ramakrishna Jayanti or Durga Puja or Sri Ramakrishna Swamiji, Holy Mother Jayanti, we have around 80, sometimes 100 people coming, all Brazilians. So and then they prepare food, they have their own arrangement, they talk among themselves. So each one makes a different item. Maybe somebody makes, some 3-4 people make salad, some people make rice, some people make legumes or what you call dal, so vegetables like that. They make different things and bring, and all that is offered to Sri Ramakrishna after a puja, elaborate puja, and then we all share and have it as prasad. And the group in Rio is known for singing. They sing excellently. They have a wonderful repertoire of so many songs, including Bengali. They sing Shokali Tumari Icha, all these songs they sing. They love to learn songs which Sri Ramakrishna used to sing, which Swamiji used to sing. And then they have songs in Portuguese, so which they sing. So that's a very vibrant group. And a lot of youngsters are coming, they are interested, and most of them who come, they are sticking. That's the thing, that's the most important thing. So there is a lot of possibility. By the grace of the Mother, by the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, I think it will grow into a big place.
Did they ever recover the properties that other
No, because that person has passed away, Delphi, no? If I'm right, his name was Delphi. He has passed away, and that property is now divided among a group which followed him. Okay, so it's not possible to recover it at all. Even when I am there only for 1.5 years now, when I came to know about the relics there and all, I tried to convince some of our old devotees to talk, not even in talking terms. So it's not possible now. They don't know where it is, because he has passed away, and he shifted to Tantra and all sorts of things. It became a hodgepodge. So, unfortunate, but yeah.
How does the local community accept Vedanta, Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna?
Good question. You see, there are many movements working in Brazil. All the popular Hindu organizations, you have Gaudiya Math, you have ISKCON, you have Brahma Kumaris, you have Sri Ravi Shankar's foundation there, then you have Jaggi Vasudev is also popular. So all these organizations are having centers. They are there for quite a number of years. ISKCON is there for quite a number of years. The Gaudiya Math, Vaishnava Sampradaya, that is also there. They have a nice place. All these are there, and many Buddhist organizations are also there, teaching meditation, vipassana and other practices. So now, Vedanta, in the way we interpret it, or as it has been interpreted by Ramakrishna Vivekananda, is well accepted because of the universal attitude, the liberality that it gives, the acceptance of other paths or people without any restrictions, Most of these people, though they are Christians, they are not practicing Christians. They don't go to the church, especially the younger generation. And there is a rebellion within them against the very strict moral code that the church enforced on them. So they have a disgruntlement against the tenets of Christianity. They just don't want to be led by something. Oh, you have to believe this, there's no other option. This they don't like. So they like the approach of Vedanta, that Vedanta says, yes, you can question, you can ask, try to find out. So this open attitude they like, they want to experiment. They may come for a few days, listen, and then maybe move to something, okay. But they want to know. They buy our books. Now the emphasis that we are trying to give in Brazil is the spread of literature. Have more books in Portuguese available for the people. So more books are coming out. So our Sao Paulo Center has a beautiful journal, Vedanta, which comes in once in 3 months. So there is a lot of interest coming in Vedanta slowly. So with the spread of literature, always there is more possibilities, and that is being given emphasis now.
One last question. Have you been able to get any local brahmacharis?
Wow.
Young generation?
Excellent question. Our Swami Nirakaranda is from Argentina. Okay? Then we have Swami Madhurananda who is also from Argentina. He is in Mayavati. We have Swami Jitananda, who is from Rio, who joined. He is a sannyasi and a wonderful person. He was a highly qualified engineer from one of the best colleges in Rio and joined. He used to come to our Rio center to read books in his free time, sit and read the books on Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Vedanta. He is now the editor of the Vedanta journal. A very nice person, wonderful sadhu, very austere and very good. So he is in Sao Paulo. Then we have a new boy, Victor, who started coming to Rio after my going there. He is also joined now. He is in Sao Paulo. He is a nice boy, very good boy, very hardworking. Everybody likes him. So we hope by the grace of Mother that he will shape into a nice sadhu. Huh? Dhyana Yogananda is Shivam, na? Yeah, Shivam is from Argentina. He is in Hollywood. Trabuco, you see? Argentina was the first beginning point. And because of the spread of literature, yes, many people came. So now Rio is coming up. Or the movement in Brazil is also taking shape. Sao Paulo attracts quite a few people. Youngsters also come, men, women. But they are regular. And we conduct in Sao Paulo and in Rio, we have yoga classes. In Sao Paulo and in Rio, regular yoga classes have been going on since so many years. People come to learn yoga. Retreats are held, lectures are held regularly. And we have service activities also in Sao Paulo and in Rio. In Sao Paulo, it's in a very disciplined way. So they help some poor students with monetary aid and distribute food every month, food material, not prepared food, dry food items like rice or lentils and other things to the homeless and the poor people. So it's a streamlined work that is happening in Sao Paulo. And just before Christmas, they have a beautiful program. They invite children from the favelas, or they are called, something like slums, the poorer section. So these children are deprived of celebrating Christmas because people have new clothes and then they have toys and everything. These poor children feel deprived. So they collect some money, things, and buy toys, sweets, chocolates, and all these things, pack them up beautifully as presents, and then clothes also. And all these packets are kept, and these children come with their mother or father and then take these gifts with great joy and go. In Sao Paulo, this is done. In Rio, also, every month, our devotees, on a regular basis, we have a place, dedicated place. So they come and keep what they want to give as donation for this free work. So rice or noodles, or things like that, which do not spoil very fast, dry things. So they come and keep it there, and one of our board members, Dasio, who is a vice president of our center, so he takes these things and then distributes it to organizations which do this type of work, spiritist organizations or something like that. So we don't do it personally, but we go and help other organizations who are involved in this work. So this we do. And during Christmas time again, like that, like what Sao Paulo does, we collect some toys, clothes and other things to distribute to poor people. Sao Paulo also has another feature. Devotees, this is a nice feature. Devotees have extra clothes with them, maybe things which they are not using. So they collect, the devotees wash, clean, press it, and then pack it up nicely, and then bring it to the ashrama and deposit it. It's all exhibited once in, I think, 3 months, if I'm right. Once in 3 months, they have a big event. So the devotees arrange all these clothes and everything nicely, and then the gates are open. Poor people who can't afford to buy new clothes, they come and then pay very nominal, maybe just 1 year or something, whatever they can, and then buy these clothes. Good clothes which they could not have afforded outside. Okay? So maybe it has been used just once or 2 times. Shoes, clothes, pants, skirts, and all these things. So that's a very popular service activity that is there in Sao Paulo. So I think I've given a brief introduction to the work in Brazil. Anything else? Any question? If it's important, maybe I could answer.
So the donation to your center in Brazil, I think through the website, right?
There is a small problem in the sense only our Sao Paulo center is authorized to receive foreign money. We have to register ourselves. There are formalities to register foreign money. The banks have to have a special permission to receive foreign money. So our Sao Paulo center has the authorization, and anybody who wants to donate, it's welcome. We will be very happy to accept your donation. We'll be grateful. So you can please give it to Swami Atmajnananda ji, and he can make a transfer once in a way to Rio Center. In fact, some of you gave me some money and checks today, and I've requested the Swami to keep it all on my behalf and send it to Rio. Okay? That will be nice. Thank you so much. We will use it for the service activities or for the maintenance of the ashrama, for renovating the ashrama. Interesting, one more interesting thing. The present building where we have the Rio ashrama is an interesting building. It's a separate plot. As I told you, on the top of a small hill. The building was built in 1865, when Sri Ramakrishna was alive. 1865. And in those days, the construction was not done with cement as it is done now. So the whole structure is of stone and whale oil. Okay, the fat of whale, the old style of, it's a beautiful, strong building. The walls are, I think, 1.5 feet, 9 inches or even more thick. So, and it is a heritage structure, tiled structure. So in the bottom, we have the temple. We have a temple. Then the temple is good. It can accommodate at least 65 to 80 people. Okay, we have beautiful, big, life-size pictures of Sri Ramakrishna and Mother and Swamiji seated in meditation. The devotees come and clean and take care of the flowers. We don't keep artificial flowers. We keep fresh flowers every day. Sorry. Anyhow, so every... Huh?
There goes your donation.
No. Our Luis Antonio, who was the president, does not like that Sri Ramakrishna. We adore Sri Ramakrishna, and let's give him fresh flowers. So we will take something stale, but not for Sri Ramakrishna. That is his attitude. He has held on to that. And the devotees somehow manage to get flowers every Tuesday, every Saturday before the lecture. On Saturday, we have a class on meditation, like what I read here. It's different. It's not formal. I don't have any script. I just conduct it. And then we have a class, half-an-hour class, on chanting mantras, the Shanti mantras, mantras from the Upanishads. All these they chant beautifully and also read the meaning. So that is a very inspiring thing. So 20-25 people come. And then the Arati, and after Arati they sing full-throated. It is so interesting. Sometimes people who are walking on the street, they see the gates open, they hear the music, are interested and come and enter and say, what's happening? Oh, we want to hear. And they continue. This is at least 3 people have come like that. Devotees who have heard the music and entered. So in the basement we have this temple, we have a small shrine kitchen, and 3 rooms for the monastics, okay, swamis to stay. And above this, in the same area, big area, as big as this, we have a hall where we have the lectures. It's as big as this. And in this, we have 2 partitions where we can sit and have get-togethers or talks, or people can ask questions like that. And a small, beautiful kitchen with a small dining hall. All this within this much, just this much. And a very small garden. It's an independent house. That's the advantage. It's a heritage structure, so we can't make any change in the front portion. Inside, you can make some changes, renovate, or do whatever it is. But the main structure cannot be altered. It's a heritage structure. An old building, it requires maintenance. There is some leak somewhere, something here, something there. But yes, we are struggling. By the grace of Mother Thakur, yes, it's going on. Any question, please? Yes. Anything? Yes, please. Yes.
You've only been there for 2 years.
No, only 1.5. Yeah, I came in November 2021 to Sao Paulo, and January 1st to Rio, 2022. Yeah, it's almost.
Do you speak Portuguese, and are you able to lecture also in Portuguese?
No, I am studying Portuguese, learning Portuguese as much as possible. There is a professor, a lady professor, who teaches me, and also the devotees are very helpful. They have taken a decision, they have made a decision that they will speak only in Portuguese, so that listening to Portuguese I can learn faster, to help me. So the devotees, the general conversation, the day-to-day conversation with them, have you welcome, have you eaten, what are you preparing, all these things, I need this, I need that. Such things I'm able to do with them now. And I've come to a stage where I can understand completely what they are saying. Maybe some words, if I don't understand anything, I can ask. Earlier, I could not understand anything. Then there came a stage, our revered President Maharaj, Smarananandji, when I joined, I'm from the south, but I joined in Sharda Peeth under him, Smarananandji, and had to learn the Bengali language. Okay, so he told me one day, there are 3 stages in learning a language, a new language. I said, what are they? He said, first, you don't understand anything. It's just above your head. It goes above your head. I said, yes. And then the second is when you start misunderstanding. You think, this could be the meaning, but it's something else. You make guesswork and it doesn't work. So that is the second stage, misunderstanding. Third comes understanding. So I've crossed the misunderstanding stage. I'm in the understanding stage now. No. They are very accommodative. The devotees are very good, very accommodative. And then whenever I make mistake, because Portuguese is a difficult language, because like Sanskrit, the entire sentence changes according to the gender and the number. So if I am addressing a lady, or if a lady is talking, then the whole thing changes. The number, the verb, everything changes. So that makes it a little complicated, because we are used to the English structure. In English, that's not there. He came, she came, it's all the same. Whereas in Portuguese, no, it changes. So to give lectures and other things, it will take a little time, definitely take a little time. But we have very good devotees who do perfect translation. Every line that I say, they translate, they are there, there's a big team. Earlier, there was one very good professor, Alvaro. He has passed away. He passed away very recently after I came, unfortunately. It was a sudden death. But he used to do very good translation. He was a very literary person, and his translation was classical. The common devotees probably could not understand. In fact, some of them did not like his use of very difficult words and all that, poetic expressions. But there are very good people who do the translation now, especially youngsters who do very well. Yes, please ask. Do you sing? Yes. Not Portuguese. I mean, just one or two songs. I don't have them here, but I've learnt a few songs in Portuguese. I do join them. But they sing very well. Yeah, they sing very well. And every day we have at least half an hour of music after the Arati. And Arati, they sing Khandana, Om Hrim Ritam, Sarvamangala Mangale, Prakritim Paramam, without books. They don't refer to any books. No? And they play percussion instruments, this, that, it's very lively. Anybody who comes suddenly, somebody comes and then picks up a drum and then starts playing. The music is inbuilt in them, the karaoke style. Sorry? And the people in Rio, they love to meet people, talk, sing. They are very friendly. So that's another, like Bengalis. They love music, to talk, mix. Okay, thank you. I just reminded of one small thing. Yeah. Revered Swami Ranganathanji Maharaj, who was our president, a well-known orator. So he used to come frequently to Mysuru, where I was. He joined in Mysuru, so he had a great affection for Mysore center. And whenever he used to come, we used to have lectures in Bangalore and Mysore, and people used to come in thousands to listen to him. He was so popular, Ranganathanji Maharaj. In Bangalore, there would be no place to stand. So that was the crowd that used to come to here to Ranganathanji. And in one of the, after one of the lectures, he was speaking on the Upanishads in Mysore. And there was a brief question-answer session. So when we told him, Swami, there will be some questions, probably please sit down to answer. And he said, oh, why? Why have I become questionable? So it was very funny.
So now is the time for me to offer my thanks to everyone who participated, especially, of course, to our visiting Swamijis. Muito obrigado. And muchas gracias. So we're very grateful to them, or Mataji, for also participating. And thanks to everyone who was involved with the cooking and the cleaning and the sound system and the singing and everything, all the things that go into a bookstore, that go into making these retreats successful. We're grateful to everyone, but especially to those who traveled all the way from Rio de Janeiro to come here for our retreat, and St. Louis also. We'll have a closing song, and do we want to have group pictures? Yes. Okay, so how are we going to do it? Other years we've gone in front, outside, we have a lot of people. Where do you think? Outside? Okay, on the steps and everything. Okay. So we'll have our closing song now, and then we invite everybody to come out, just go out the main doors there, and we'll have it in group photography.
तब कथामृतं तप्त जीवन कुबीर viritam. What is this? Yanma kiya hai? Sorry.
These all have to be in. And these have to be out. Something is.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sorry, Maharaj.
কখনো কখনো না মুভ করার সময় আটকে যায় দেখুন তো
Okay, ঠিক আছে। तब कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरेरितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदततं भुवि गिरन्ति भूरिदा जना भुवि गिरन्ति भूरिदा जना अपनते अपनी तेको अपनते अपनी तेको तुमी जेओ ना को कारो घरे अपनाते अपनी থেকো যা চাবি তা বসে পাবি যা চাবি তা বসে পাবি শুধু খোঁজনি অন্তপুরে আপনাতে আপনি থেকো পরম ধনই পরশমণি যা চাবি তা দিতে পারে পরম ধনই পরশমণি যা চাবি তা দিতে পারে কত মনি পড়ে আছে চিন্তামণি নাচ দুয়ারে আপনাতে আপনি থেকো মন। তীর্থ গমন শুধু দুঃখ ভ্রমণ, মন চাটন করো নারে তীর্থ গমন শুধু দুঃখ ভ্রমণ, মন চাটন করো নারে আনন্দ ত্রিবেণীর স্নানে আনন্দ ত্রিবেণীর স্নানে শীতল হও না মূলাধারে আপনাতে আপনি থেকো মন। কি দেখো কমলা কান্ত মিছে বাজি সারে কি দেখো কমলা কান্ত মিছে বাজি সারে সেই বাজি করে চিনলে না রে সেই বাজি করে চিনলে না রে সে যে তোমার ঘটে বিরাজ করে আপনাতে আপনি থেকো মন। তুমি যেও না কো কারো ঘরে আপনাতে আপনি থেকো মন। যা চাবি তা বসে পাবি শুধু খোঁজনি অন্তপুরে আপনাতে আপনি থেকো নিরঞ্জন নিত্যমনন্তরূপং ভক্তানুকম্পাধৃত বিগ্রহং বৈ ঈশাবতারং পরমেশ মেঢং তং রামকৃষ্ণং শিরসা নমামি।
One final announcement. Oh, also Jeff, forgot to mention you before, thank you. Our Swami, Atmajnananda and Nirakanandaji, they'll be leaving Wednesday. Huh? Tuesday night, 6th morning. Tuesday night, we can have satsang here, and Swamiji can show some of his pictures of Rio in Brazil. So we can meet in the basement, 7:30, after we have our Arati meditation on Tuesday night. And then you'll also be back here. What dates will you be here, Maharaj?
We come back, I come back on 12th.
12th?
Afternoon.
Ah.
And then go to Providence on 14th.
So that'll just, be a short time.
18th and 13th night, I'm here.
Okay, so we can have satsang again when Swamiji comes back. Okay, so again, thanks to everyone. And now let us proceed outside. Photograph.